course you would.
Mm-hmm.
So don't click on anything yet. So I'm going to be walking you through this session today. To reiterate, we're asking people to try to use a website that we're working on to see whether it works as we intended. The session today should take about 30 minutes to an hour. The first thing I want to be clear about is that we're testing the website, not you. You can't do anything wrong here, so please don't be scared that you're hurting our feelings. We're doing this to improve the site, so we want to hear your honest reactions.
Okay.
As you use the site, I'm going to ask you to think out loud as much as possible. Say what you're looking at, what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking. If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away since we're interested in how people do when they don't have somebody sitting next to them to help. If you still have any questions when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. And if you need to take a break at any point, just let me know. With your permission, we're going to record what happens on the screen in our conversation. The recordings are only going to be used to improve the site and won't be viewed by anyone who isn't working on this project. I just need verbal agreement that you are aware that this is being recorded and you give us our permission to do so.
Yep.
Okay, and again, we're only using this to improve the website. So before we look at the website, I'm going to ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Lindsay Cohen.
What school did you go to?
Vanderbilt.
And what was your major?
Economics.
And you are a recent graduate, right?
Yes, as of a year.
So how many hours a week do you think you spend on the internet?
On the internet, does that include social media?
Yeah, just using the internet.
I would say over 20.
And do you have any favorite websites?
Well, they'd probably all be social media. So I enjoy Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What else do I look at? I like to online shop, but I don't know if you can consider that a favorite website.
Okay. So I'm going to show you a screen in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you to look at this page and tell me what you make of it. Basically, what strikes you. Whose site do you think it is? What do you think you can do here? What is the site for? Look around and give me your narrative. Talk out loud as you see things. And you can scroll around, but don't click on anything. So click on the other tab over here.
Okay.
And just talk out loud and let me know.
Okay, simplify school. Find study documents, textbooks. Okay, so basically like a comprehensive database to help students study. I think it's interesting that there's promotions for textbooks. I think that's kind of a unique offering because more so of like study services, I just wouldn't know that they were helping you with your textbooks. That's important. They're obviously really expensive. I think it's cool how things are personalized for the specific school that you attend. I think that's really important because obviously it means the guides are valuable and yeah, sorry. Okay, so homework help. Oh, that's also good. So I would assume, I don't know how you do this, like have people on call 24/7 to help you with your homework, which is great if that's truly like what happens, especially like when you're studying really late at night and you can't really rely on a student teacher or your professor to help you with over late hours. Okay.
You can scroll around again, just don't click on anything.
Okay.
So just again, narrate what you're seeing, what you like.
Okay, so I'm scrolling down on the website. It says content from your favorite websites. I've heard of Quizlet. I've heard of Chegg. I've never used it before. I've used Quizlet. Study Blue I've never used. Wyzen I've never used. Course Hero I've heard of. I don't think I've ever used it, but I've definitely like browsed around their website way up, and I have no idea what that is, but I'm assuming it's all the same type of company. I think that's important. It gives you credibility within your website, showing that you offer material from brands that are recognizable. Okay, study documents, Spitball curates content. Okay. Oh, the best. Okay, I think. Oh, okay. So now I have like a better understanding of what you guys do. It's kind of like, you could say like a kayak for study guides in that nature, and just curating it I think is really important because a lot of times students are just wasting their own time looking for what actually is the study material they're wanting to use. So Therefore, like this site would, just going off of that, would be like only as great as their feedback gets given. So obviously it'd be really important, I think, to just have, and maybe you could just like send certain content to students, like not necessarily if they're going to use it, and like see how it would be rated among the students as like being usable. Okay, so study documents. Now I'm scrolling down on and the tutors. Okay, so trusted tutoring services. All of our online and in-person tutors are highly qualified experts with education. So that's great. So like, would these be the the resources that are there 24/7, the tutors, or is it just like if you wanted to hire a tutor?
I'm not going to answer that question because, again, we want to see how you would interpret this as
Okay.
if you were here alone.
Okay, so how would I interpret that?
You don't have to answer if you do have questions that are open ended.
Yeah.
That's something we need to know as well. So like
Okay.
if something confuses you or if you aren't sure about something, just say that, and
Okay.
that's something.
And
we
no, I'm
need to
definitely
answer.
not confused. I'm okay. I think it's good that you can offer different levels of help regarding like what a specific student is looking for, either like very hands-on or just like very just giving them the resources they need to study. Okay, food and deals. Okay, that's kind of funny. I don't know why I find it funny. It's just like in like all of the different like studying guides and categories, the food and deals definitely like sticks out because it's not as not something that you would definitely expect in a study website, but students would definitely want food and deals because I guess it makes sense while you're studying. I think it would be cool if you were able, I don't know if this is possible, if you were able to offer like food and deals regarding like the time frame that the student is studying. That'd be kind of cool because obviously I'm just like thinking of like late night studying because that's really only the time that I feel like I ever studied. That like if you were up late at night and you were hungry, then it would be kind of, I guess it would be like good, I don't know, advertising to get food that was open at that hour. Also distracting though. Okay. Textbooks. Okay, it's textbooks at the best prices compared to buy, written, sell. Okay, that's great. Obviously that it compares all the prices for you. It makes it much more simplified, the process of searching for your textbooks. I still don't know, like, for me, I still found it when I was in school just like the easiest to just go to the bookstore. I never really compared prices unless I had to get the books online, but most of them were already there in the bookstore. But I don't know, like, now if I would do that differently with like the accessibility of being able to purchase your textbooks in other locations. Flashcards, search and improve your grades. Okay, that's important. I think it'd be good also, I guess, just going along those lines. I don't know if you do this, but if you were to able, like, or Quizlet is on here, so if you could make your own flashcards, if you wanted to do that instead. Okay, ask a question. Ask any school-related question and immediately get answers and information that relates specifically to you, your classes, and university. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm like thinking like all of this is like really great. It's just I'm not skeptical, just like it sounds like an incredible service if it were to truly promise what it does. So, obviously.
What do you mean you're not?
Like I'm not skeptical. Like, okay, so like ask any school-related question and immediately get answers and information that relates specifically to you, your classes, and your university. I'm just like, how is that possible? To know that like on demand you can get answers about like a specific course at a specific university. So like I think that's a great value proposition. If I mean it's if it works. Jobs. Oh, okay. Obviously that's really important to students. So I think just like there are a lot of different ways to keep people on your own platform. It's so I think that's cool. Um, um, okay, so wait, now I'm just reading the students' quote. I was shocked there was news that fit my lifestyle. Nothing I could easily access on my phone or computer. That's true. I feel like all study guides are like really difficult to acquire. And like you need to do some like searching on the internet that if everything was like placed in your face in an intuitive manner, like it's definitely something that students would use. Okay, and that's
Okay, so do you, now that you've looked at this page, still don't click on anything, but do you understand what the site is about, do you think? And if so, could you give me a summary?
Yeah, so I would say this is a platform for undergraduate, I would say undergraduate students that allows them to search for specific study material for their courses within a specific university and therefore getting like the most accurate and effective studying help that they could get, as well as providing tutoring services at any hour of the day. In addition to that, it's just to like be a comprehensive like academic resource that also helps students purchase their textbooks in the most economic way, and then provides additional benefits such as promotions for food that could just like build a better customer relationship with the people who are using this site. What did I forget? Oh, and then like also it's a good segue for students who are graduating and looking for or not graduating, but students who are also looking for a job.
So what feeling do you get on this website with the way it looks?
I think it's nice. Like the simplification is definitely important. It's intuitive. I feel like if I were to if I was a student using Spitball, I think I would be able to figure it out very easily. It like sums everything up for you very concisely. It's kind of self-explanatory, so I think.
Do you feel like you know how to use it? Just looking at this.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you, if you don't click yet, but if you were to go through this website, what would you expect to be able to click on? This is a mock-up, so not everything is clickable, but again, don't click. But what would you expect to be able to click on?
Well, definitely the search bar.
And what would you expect to see?
Okay, so when I clicked on it and I started to type in, I would kind of it would be ideal if it were to like fill in the blanks for me. So that would be great. Okay, I'm just scrolling. I would expect to be able to click on the 3 clouds beneath it, the documents, to send me to the documents, the textbooks, that would take me to the help for textbooks, and then obviously the homework help. I think if I clicked on the homework help, I would kind of expect there to be like a pop-up bar on the bottom of the screen that was like a chat box for just like me to communicate with someone who's trying to help me with my homework. And then obviously like the top, the guide, the features, the mobile app. And I think within each section, like if you were to click on them, that's where I would assume they would take you on the website.
Okay. Okay, so now, like I said, it's a mock-up. The only thing that is clickable is the search bar. So you can click on the search bar and then don't click again. Again, just narrate what you see and let me know what you think about it and what you think is good, bad, whatever.
Okay. Oh, things you can ask me.
Don't.
Yeah, okay. Can I type?
No, it's like a mock-up.
I think that's good because it shows you all the different features of the website. If I were to click on it, I don't know how carefully I would read those if I was already searching something that I was like set on searching, like a specific homework question. But it's definitely like a way to show you what's going on the website. I don't know if it would be more like pleasing to students, like if they were just typing in certain things and that then it would fill in the blanks instead of like some things you can ask me, as in it kind of makes it maybe makes it seem like their options are limited and not you can't, I don't know, I'm just thinking, but if I were to be able to type, I don't know how carefully I would like read what the suggested questions were.
So, what do you think is clickable here?
Well, I would assume to be able to click on all of the things that you were able to ask.
So now, again, mock-up, only one of them is clickable. So click on class notes for my calculus test class, and again, let me know what stands out to you, what you think you can do here. Look around, talk out loud.
Okay. So calculus. So I'm reading the titles of each, like the titles that are bolded in purple of each document, to try and see like the value of each of the documents. I think it's good that you show the source at the bottom of them. I think for people who already have a preferred study like website, then that will definitely be a way for them to help sort through all of the options. Calculus. Okay, so I'm scrolling through. Okay. I think it would be good if, I don't know if you can, if you were able to type the like key search words that you're looking for within calculus to help narrow it down even further.
So from this page, you would want to be able to narrow it down further, or would you?
Yeah.
Would you type something more more specific into the search bar?
I probably would type something more specific into the search bar, actually. But then if you were just like doing like a general review, I think it would be better if you were able to search it in here too, if you were like studying for a midterm or something and had to go through a lot of topics.
So what do you think about the way the results look?
Okay. I think it's very like clean, which is good. I think I'm not. Sorry, I'm just reading them. I think it's very easy to understand and follow. Is there like, I don't know how they're organized, like why certain ones are at the top, if those are like the most frequented by Spitball users. So it would be like nice, or like I'm sure there's a methodology behind the way that they show up, the different resources. Be cool if you could see like how they're rated. I don't know if you need to do that. I'm just thinking.
What did you notice that orange bar on the top?
Oh, honestly, no, because but it's important because I think that's like the only part that I wasn't really. I was like confused about how you would tailor it to your specific school and classes. So like that's obviously great that that's there. I kind of completely skimmed that over, um, which I'm assuming isn't ideal. I found some documents. I'm not sure if it was just because I was looking at like the results that maybe if you went back and were able to do like an advanced search where you could put in your school and classes and then the subject, I think that would be that would be good.
Mhm.
Okay.
What do you think would happen if you were from this page click on flashcards on the left?
That study documents. I would just think that they would also show up calculus flashcards, or either just take you to the flashcard general page.
What do you think would happen if you clicked on settings on the left?
Where's that? Oh, setting. I honestly not sure, but maybe like determine the number of results you get on each page, how many show up. Like more like to personalize the website, not as opposed to personalize like the results of what the like the the specifics about the resources you're receiving or the documents that are showing up.
What do you think would happen if you clicked on my courses above the results right there?
If you were able to, or if you previously input the courses that you're taking and what material you're looking for help for, then it would show up like your calculus 140 class, blah 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 blah. Like that would show up there.
And what would that do?
It would provide you an easier way to just sort through the materials that you're looking for, and like if you've saved a search on your for this specific class, or like saved documents for this course, then you just be able to access them like pretty easily by clicking.
What do you think would happen if you clicked on sources?
It allow you to narrow down from which websites you're receiving sources from, like get rid of Course Hero or keep anything.
What would you expect to happen if you clicked on the search bar?
Class notes. It would search within each of these documents. Like if I were to type in graph, it would highlight all the documents that have the word graph in them. And I guess if you pressed enter, only those would show up.
So if you wanted to do a completely new search, what would you do? How would you do that?
It's a good question. I would probably click back on Spitball.
Don't click.
I'm not going to. On the logo that is right next to right above the ask a question.
Okay. Now that you've seen all these pages and you've seen multiple pages, do you think you have an understanding of what the website's for? And if so, could you briefly explain it to me?
Yeah. What the website is for is just to serve as a comprehensive study resource for students that allows them to have a tailored selection of resources for individual classes and provide them with the most like efficient study resources on the internet.
So
in addition to like, well, okay, that I would say is like the purpose of it for studying, but I guess, well, obviously it serves other purposes for students who are also looking for jobs. But I would think the first, like when I would think of this, I wouldn't necessarily think of it as a resource to find internships, but maybe that's because I never was like exposed to that part of this company, or like I just never knew that before, and I like knew it as like a studying resource.
So what we're done with the pages. You can either click over to the Google or just leave it as it is. I just have a few more questions. Is this a service you see value in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not for me personally because I'm not in school anymore, but like as an ex-student, I think it definitely would have helped me in while I was studying.
So if you were to go to this website, would you want to create a profile or add your email?
Um, yeah, I think it would be most like creating a profile would be the best way to um, interact with this website because there you'd want to be able to save and access certain documents more quickly because you'll like I think just like from I wouldn't say trial and error but just from like using the site you would see which guides you like the most and obviously would want to have those the most accessible.
Okay. Um, so if you were to click on one of these documents right here,
Hmm.
it would take you to wherever that source is. So like CourseHero.com for the top one.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? Clicking that out and getting a new tab onto Course Hero.
To be honest, I think I would rather have it stay within the Spitball platform. But I guess if you were still able to access all the other sites and like opening it in another tab isn't bad. I would just expect it for some reason to just stay within the Spitball platform.
Would you ever use a service like this on your phone? And if you would you prefer to use it on a browser or a app?
Probably an app.
But would you use it on?
I though I think it would be most um, valuable if I were to use it on my phone, not necessarily to study, but to organize what documents I'm going to use to study. Because obviously on your phone, the screen isn't, it's harder to read.
So do you in college you kind of went over this before. You didn't have any subscriptions to any school related services like Chegg, Study Blue.
No.
Okay. So if we were to like bundle up those services, because a lot of them you do have to pay for, like Chegg is $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Bundle up and let's say you get three for $20 or so. Is that something you would be interested in rather than paying for one for $15, paying for 20 and getting three?
It's something I would be interested in if I was a user of one of the sites though, and like really, I just like never. Well, I never used them because I didn't have an account, and I didn't think it was really necessary. From the, I don't know, but I think if you were bundling them up, it would obviously give you more access to material. But I think the main thing is just to be able to have it like university specific and just to like prove that um, you could access the same, like you were getting the right material for your classes.
Okay. So thank you for helping us. Do you have any other questions for me or last minute comments?
No.
Okay. We try to